Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I am Kris. Sorry, this just restart. Just the glitching just pisses me off. So this is based off a video I just did. Sorry, it was glitching and I had to hit the button. I hit the thumbs up beforehand. So this is why people fear the Mossad. Former CIA officer John Kiriakou. This is by Dalton Fisher podcast. Click that thumbs up, subscribe, mandatory please. Subscribe to the channel, optional. Click on the thanks button and donate to the channel if you'd like to keep it running. Again, optional. So, let's get into it.
The Israelis are not like anybody else. They killed a guy in a hotel room in Dubai, and then after they killed him, they were somehow able to lock the door from the inside of the hotel room.
There was like 26 people that the Dubai CCTV footage picked up.
Right.
Weren't the cameras Israeli made?
I got a tour of the whole facility, and the cameras were German.
What facility?
There's an underground.
Let's move into the Mossad a little bit. You've talked about in interviews that the Israelis are ranked critical threat for counterintelligence, a little bit about our relationship with them, but something that I'm really interested in is the Mossad operationally, because I think, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you'd be hard pressed to argue with the fact that they are really, really good.
Best in the world.
So, yeah, I guess broad question, like what has been your experience while at the agency, talking to other case officers, working with the Israelis? What stands out?
My experience is universally negative. Universally negative. I've never had a positive encounter with Mossad. I have never met a CIA officer who has had a positive encounter with Mossad. Because the Mossad doesn't give two shits what you think or what you are trying to focus on in your job. They care only about Israel. And if that means shoving their fists up your ass or trying to recruit you or telling you to go fuck yourself while they try to recruit, the guy sitting next to you or the guy in the defense contractor's office, they don't care what you think of them. Because for them, it's an issue of survival. They have nowhere to go if they don't survive. The thing is, the Israelis, this was covered in the Washington Post just a couple days after the 12-day war started. And what the Israelis did is that they have a lot of Farsi-speaking Jews in Israel. These are Iranians who are Jewish and who emigrated to Israel. And a lot of them work for Mossad and Shin Bet. And what the Israelis did was they got the cell phone numbers of literally every Iranian nuclear scientist. And they had these Iranian Jews call on their cell phones, call the scientists and say, listen, you're going to die tomorrow, right? We're going to kill you tomorrow. You have no hope. You're going to die. Just accept it. Or you can defect to us right now. And they're like, fuck you. And they hang up the phone. Then they call the wives and say, listen, we're going to kill your husband tomorrow. So tell him this is his only chance. He's going to die tomorrow. And what they ended up doing is just taking out the entire block of apartment buildings. They killed 14 nuclear scientists. That devastates the entire program. And family members as well. They wiped out entire families. And now they're gathering intelligence on the next generation of Israeli scientists, and they're going to start killing them. The U.S. would never have a policy like that. We'll try to do, some pinprick thing or do it in person, but never just, kill. They killed 300 people in southern Lebanon when they went after Hassan Nasrallah, the former head of Hezbollah. They just blew up the entire complex. It decapitated Hezbollah. It was also a war crime.
I mean, to be fair, the Mossad does do the close-in stuff too.
Yeah, they do.
Like the Mashal one in Jordan. And then what about that one in Dubai? Do you remember that?
Classic. We studied that for a long time. They killed a guy in a hotel room in Dubai. And then after they killed him, they were somehow able to lock the door from the inside of the hotel room. And we tried like magnets and different ways. We couldn't figure out how they did it.
Like a latched door?
They did the latch and this one. And the guy's in there dead. And the hotel couldn't even get it open. Yeah, they ended up sending somebody in from the balcony. How do they do that? It's very impressive.
Wasn't there also something? Okay, first of all, the Israelis never officially claimed responsibility for that.
Mm-mm.
But there was like 26 people that the Dubai CCTV footage picked up.
Right.
And
in Dubai, they have the most CCTV coverage in the world, more than the Chinese.
But none of them were picked up.
No.
And number one, people speculate disguises, but I don't know if this is true, but weren't the cameras Israeli made?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. When I was in Dubai, I got a tour of the whole facility, and the cameras were German.
What facility?
There's an underground. They have this very sophisticated. Maybe we should clip that.
Oh, are you sure? I'd like to keep it in.
Okay, I'm going to be serious. There's an underground facility that the government of Dubai has that is completely created by Siemens, the big German company. It's like walking into an IMAX theater, but instead of one 5-story screen, it's 5 stories of TV monitors. So you have hundreds of TV monitors that cover every inch of Dubai.
Holy cow. Is Dubai the city where like you could leave your phone and your wallet on a table, walk away, come back to it several days later, it's still there just because there's like no crime because you get your hands cut off? It's got to be. I mean, that explains why.
Every inch. So we're watching these. They gave us a tour. We're watching these, and we see a taxi driver looking at his phone while he's driving, and he crashes into a telephone pole. And they were like, "Oh, there's a taxi accident at the intersection of this and that." And the taxi driver's rattled, and he gets out of the cab, and he's trying to gain his, composure. And somebody runs up to him. And we're watching all this on the screen. Somebody runs up to him, and then they call, I think it's 115 is their version of 911. And the ambulance is already on the way because we watched it happen in real time. So the operator's like, yes, the ambulance is on the way. The whole country's covered. Now, you can't do that in a country like the United States, but you can do it in other places. And then you can intercept what's happening in those other places.
So to come back to the Mossad,
Mm-hmm.
I told this for people that listen to I had a historian, Rick Spence. He's you know Rick Spence?
Yeah, sure.
So for people that heard me tell this story on that podcast, sorry about that, but I want to get John's take on it and you'll hear why. So this was a documentary that came out of Israel. So it was all on the up and up. And there was a Mossad officer that told a story about they recruited an asset who, let's say he was like some sort of, goat herder or something in, I think it was Syria. And so they recruit the guy, and eventually the Palestinians.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. And so they recruit the guy, and eventually the Palestinians come to the guy, and they wanted to recruit him because he was in close proximity to the Israeli border.
Sure.
Again, I don't know if it was Syria, but whatever. Let's just say there was. So the Palestinians come to him, and then he goes and tells the Mossad, and they're like, hey, I got approached by these guys. They want to know about some either border setup or movement of the IDF. And what the Mossad said is, okay, give them the information because let's just assume what you can see, they can see. And it's all out there. Build a relationship, give them the information. Gives it to him. So then they come back to him and they say, okay, we want you to find a spot in the border wall for us to cross into Israel.
Oh boy.
So he goes to the Mossad and he tells them this, and they say, okay, let's go find a spot in the border wall together. And then when they come through, there'll be a warm welcome waiting for them. So they pick the spot. He goes and tells the Palestinians, and they say, okay, great, thanks. The night before the operation, they tell him, they say, oh yeah, and by the way, as an insurance policy, you're coming with us.
Oh, shit.
So he tells Mossad this, and they said, well, if you say no, they'll get spooked, and you'll blow your cover or they'll kill you.
Mm-hmm.
So go with them, and when you cross the border, hit the deck, and we have ways to make sure that you don't get shot. And essentially, that was all bullshit. And the way that the Mossad officer described it was sacrificing a pawn off the chessboard. And so I don't say that to illustrate the fact that, oh my God, the Mossad is so bad. Like, intelligence is a dirty game. I think we're all well aware of that. But the point, what I got from that is, why the hell would they be saying this?
Why would you willingly burn someone who came to you with information, good information? Apparently you acted on it. But yeah, why would you tell everyone that you burned this person by killing them?
Number one, to speak to the ruthlessness of the Mossad, sure. The mystique, I think that is beneficial to an intelligence agency.
But if you're a Palestinian,
that's what I'm saying. Why would you want to work with any agency?
Why would you volunteer? Yeah.
Do they burn assets like that?
Oh, I'm sure that they do. I'm sure that they do. But I'll tell you, no other intelligence service would send a recruited asset to his death like that. That doesn't make any sense. But the Israelis are not like anybody else. They're not. It's just another Palestinian to them.
So what's an example operationally like that you can think of when you're like, the Israelis are different?
When the first time I went on Piers Morgan, I debated a former director of the Mossad. And the guy just couldn't stop chuckling all through it was ridiculous. I said things like, the Israelis spy on the United States. Oh, no, not since Jonathan Pollard. And I said, well, Jonathan Pollard was caught in 1985, and you were spying on the United States in 1998, or 2004. No comment. It's like, what is that? We're not permitted to spy on the Israelis. We're not permitted. The potential for blowback is outrageous. Can you imagine if we spied on the Israelis and got caught? Every member of Congress would be demanding the CIA director's head.
Do you think that we really don't spy on the
Yes.
Israelis?
That was verboten when I was there.
I was surprised to hear you say that in that interview, because I figured it's this gentleman's game, so to speak.
Mm-mm. With most other places, post 9/11, we developed the Five Eyes, and we don't spy on each other in the Five Eyes. The Five Eyes being US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. We literally sit next to each other in each other's headquarters. I remember when George Tenet ordered us to open the files, he said, and he meant literally open the files. And so we've had this Five Eyes relationship ever since. And of course, we have very, very close relationships with other countries. Not a ton, but a lot. But the Israelis are special. Yeah, we do not spy on the Israelis.
Yeah. That's a part of this segment is a part of a bigger interview. John Kiriakou does some great ones. Yeah, he's the only. He exposed the torture program and then went to jail for it. Yeah, so he did a 4-hour in Mossad terrifying CIA technology. He did a 4-hour, 18-minute video on it, and I watched it. It's amazing. I woke up to this one playing. But yeah, never happened. All right, well, we're gonna end it there. I didn't talk a whole lot because I wanted him to talk. So until next time, I'll do more John Kiriakou. There's other ones. I find him more interesting than the Army Ranger sniper, the former CIA guy. I just find John Kiriakou just more, tells a better story. So until next time, have a good day, have a good night.